Hello, everybody. We are just getting started. We're pulling up our panelists on our screen now. So if y'all just want to hang tight for a couple minutes and let's get the rest of our attendees in, we'll start here shortly. And full disclosure, I do have a sleeping dog under my desk right now, and she just started snoring. So if you hear something, that's just my dog having some doggy dreams. And one trying to be in my lap. How are our panelists doing today? How are you doing today, Barry? You're muted.
I'm hanging in there, but the wrong camera is being used by my computer, so I have to shift my focus. This is a new problem.
And you're on campus, so in your office?
Yeah, I'm back in my office.
Good. Excellent. We have about 10 people joining us today, and we're almost there, so we'll just give it another minute. I do have a poll. We can go ahead and pull the poll up. We're going to launch this polling. Really, we just like to see who's in the room. So when it launches, you can answer. It's what is your major? So today we're here for the College of Arts and Letters, and what that means is if you have a major that falls within our college, then you're part of our college. Ooh, we have a couple of music students in here today. That's exciting.
Casey, I know we didn't invite any minors from our college today, but maybe for the next panel we do. I have some minors.
Sure. So I think I'm closing the poll, and we're going to share the results so everybody can see. We have quite a few music students in here, but a lot of fine arts as well, and we welcome our English major as well. Well, we'll go ahead and get started so that if people are joining us late, totally fine. We're also recording this meeting today, so if you end up having to leave early or anything like that, then note that we will post this recording somewhere, or at least email it out to y'all as well. I introduced myself. My name is Casey Ellis. I am the Student Success Coordinator for the College of Arts and Letters. Basically, I act as the liaison between the student success area in the office and the College of Arts and Letters. So trying to work with this team here that you see on the screen, and really trying to create a holistic approach to student success for all of our students in the college is kind of my goal. I'm going to let each of our panelists introduce themselves as well. And while we're going through introductions, if you see on your screen the Q&A button, feel free to go ahead and click on it and send in a question. It'll come to the panelists. So you can add on there if you want it to be anonymous as well. So go ahead and do that at any point in time, and we'll get to it and make sure everybody's questions get answered during the session. So I'm going to go ahead and give it over to Barry, our Dean of the College of Arts and Letters, so he can introduce himself.
Hello, everyone. I'm Barry Jones. I'm Dean of the College of Arts and Letters. My academic background is in the visual arts, so I'm a visual artist. But in my role as Dean, I am the administrator over all of the college departments within the College of Arts and Letters. So that's languages and literature, history and philosophy, music, communication, theater and dance, and art and design. So I kind of oversee all of those different groups.
And on that note, thank you, Barry. I'm going to add to my intro now. I'm actually an alum of Austin P and alum of the College of Arts and Letters. And my academic discipline, at least my undergraduate major, was actually in foreign languages and French. So I'm really excited. I love working with this college and the students in the college as well. I think we all have some kind of affinity for the majors and the topics that everybody's studying as well. So Abby, I'm going to throw that one over to you.
Hi, everybody. My name is Abby Goldblatt, and I'm the freshman advisor in the College of Arts and Letters. So I work with each department that Dean Jones talked about. And I also collaborate with the major advisors, and Casey will talk more about the advising model later. But I'm with you for your freshman year, not only to help you register for classes, but just to connect with a lot of the resources on campus, like our coaches, career services, anything that you guys need. My background is in counseling, so I got my bachelor's in sociology and a minor in education, and I ended up counseling in Florida for 10 years and then I fell into education. So I love it here because I'm eager to help and happy to help. I just need you guys to let me know how I can help and connect you.
Excellent. Thank you, Abby. I'm going to go to Edward next so he can introduce himself.
Hi, so my name is Edward, and I'm a success coach with the College of Arts and Letters. I was, and I guess I still am in a way, like a first-generation student. I actually graduated from Austin P back in 2019 with a degree in political science with a double minor in French and international relations. So you can kind of see my tie-in with the College of Arts and Letters right there. As a success coach, I follow my students through their first year, and I support them through like literally anything that they might come across. And I also try to expand the possibilities that kind of come their way. I like to think of myself, and I'm not trying to brag or anything, but I kind of think of myself as like a really powerful resource for my students because I have I'm not limited to just one thing. I can help my students with a variety of things. And if I can't directly help my students myself, then I know someone who can. And the reason I said a minute ago is why it's important to know when I graduated is because I'm a near peer mentor. And that basically means that although I've already graduated, I still understand the problems that a student goes through because, you know, I recently went through them myself.
Excellent. Thanks, Edward. Gabby?
Hello, so my name is Gabby. I'm also a success coach just like Edward. I graduated this past December with my bachelor's in psychology and I minored in family studies. I kind of work with all the departments here, so while I don't have a specific connection to arts and letters, I can say with all honesty that it's been probably one of my favorite departments to work with. And so just to kind of add on to what Edward said about what success coaches do, we are one of the few positions on campus that just don't work with students on an academic basis. We're also here to support students through pretty much anything that a young adult could go through in their first year. We really just help to support that personal well-being and anything else that could possibly come up.
Thank you, Gabby. I'm going to write a quick chat in here and then we will move on. Okay, so once again, just want to remind everyone, go ahead and click on that Q&A button. You can also add questions in the chat. Either way, we'll get them and we'll promise we will get to them. I'm going to move some people around on your screen now so that we're not super overwhelming you. So give me just a second to do that. Moving back over here. We're gonna let each one talk and talk about their specific roles a little bit more and answer any questions that y'all have coming through. There we go. And Barry, you are up first. So tell us a little bit about what it means to be a student in the College of Arts and Letters and Maybe after that, talk a little bit about the instructional methods for fall, perhaps.
Sure, I'd be delighted to. One of the, I absolutely adore the College of Arts and Letters and the students in our college, because one of the things that we're really good at in the College of Arts and Letters is creating community. So my hope is, and I feel confident that when you come to Austin P, you'll instantly find a group of people with shared interests and shared idiosyncrasies, who are weird like you. You'll find your tribe. And so we have a lot of events, a lot of opportunities to meet people and grow and find your passion. So it's probably, we have a lot of fun. Let me just put it that way. It's a fun college. We do cool stuff, and we have cool people. So that's the College of Arts and Letters kind of in a nutshell. Now, probably the question that's the most on everyone's mind, and it's certainly been keeping me busy for the past several months, is how are we going to deliver courses during the COVID-19 pandemic? Well, there's a lot of different ways that courses will be delivered. We will have still your traditional face-to-face classroom courses, but maintaining the 6-foot social distancing guidelines made by the CDC, and everyone will be wearing a mask on campus. Masks are going to be required of everyone. We'll also have high flex classes, which means that you'll meet face-to-face in the classroom some, and there'll be online components for some other parts of it. So kind of a hybrid mixture of online and face-to-face. And we'll do those mainly because some of our facilities aren't large enough to maintain a safe social distance. So I'm thinking, some art studios and things like that we can't crowd in enough people to make it completely face-to-face. And then we'll also have online options as well. So completely online courses. And some of our online courses will be what we call asynchronous, which means that you work at your own pace, or they'll be synchronous, which would mean kind of like this. You meet at a particular time for a Zoom class. And so we'll have lots of different ways of delivering instruction in the fall, but we're all very good at this now after the spring semester, and you'll get you'll still get a very quality education. Now, a lot of the ways that we're going to teach classes haven't actually been indicated in the schedule yet, because there was a lot of work waiting for the final guidelines from the state of Tennessee and from the Centers for Disease Control. But within the next week or so, you'll start to see changes in those. So the delivery method of a course that you might be signed up for might change as a result of this. And you'll be notified of this change. And if it's in a style that you don't think works for your particular learning style, you'll be able to change the course to find one that does fit better how you hope to take courses. How did I do, Casey?
Perfect. I want to reiterate that we are getting very good at this whole technology thing now. So we had a very steep learning curve in the spring, and I'm confident that this fall is going to be so much smoother. And we're ready for all of our students now in this venue as well. So we have a couple questions. Can you talk a little bit about how, and maybe you know this, maybe you don't, but marching band, and if band camp is actually happening? I think that's a great question, because I haven't actually heard from Dr. Branscombe.
Well, and we're still kind of working on some of those things. A lot of that, of course, with the marching band depends on what ends up happening with college football. So we're waiting on some concrete things from the OVC. Ohio Valley Conference, the conference we compete in, but there will be a marching band. It's just a question of how they'll actually participate during football. So my guess would be yes, there will still be some kind of summer band camp, but we're still working on the details. It's certainly going to have, keeping 6 feet apart is certainly going to be a challenge when it comes to the halftime performances. And but we have a great marching band. I'm very proud of the Governor's Own marching band, and they'll figure it out. They'll make it happen. It'll be awesome. But I actually have a meeting next week with the director of the band and the chair of the Department of Music to kind of talk about the details of how we're going to proceed. So we're still not completely there yet, but we will have it all figured out shortly.
The Governor's Own marching band is my favorite part of any football game or basketball game.
Mine too. Mine too. Yes.
And then our next question is also about music, but she has a passion for vocal education as well as instrumental and vocal composition. We do have composition courses. We just don't have a major in composition. So there are definitely ways that you can get some experience in with those courses this year. Not necessarily this year, but within your actual program. And that would be a question that you would definitely want to talk with Abby about in your first few advising sessions as well. And also your major advisor, which I'll actually go through in just a minute about that setup. These are great questions. Sure. Thank you so much. Keep on coming. I'm going to give you a second to breathe, and we'll talk a little bit about, we're going to take him off. Oh, hello, everyone. I'm going to talk a little bit about the advising model, and that kind of came up just a second ago. So advising is a little different than what maybe many students have experienced in high school. So you never really had an advisor in that specific type of role. You may have had a guidance counselor that was helping, but they were helping everyone in the school, in your grade. And so you probably didn't get a lot of one-on-one time with your guidance counselor for class planning or career planning or college planning. Your advisor, who will be Abby Goldblatt, and I'm going to put her on next to talk a little bit more about what she does with students. But you'll be meeting with her and every student on our campus through freshman to senior year. Every semester, every student is required to meet with their advisor to discuss their academic goals. This is really important, and I think somewhat unique to Austin Peay that we require that every semester. Some universities require it once a year or no longer after your first year. But we want to make sure that we're giving you the foundation and the support you need through your career to not only make sure you're staying on track to graduation and completion, but also setting you up for what happens after graduation. And we talk about different topics each year. So you're not going to start, Abby might ask you in your first session, what do you want to do after you graduate? But that's just to begin with the end in mind so that they can, y'all can start collaborating together to make a plan for what your goals are. But then you also are going to be assigned a faculty advisor. And this person is someone in your major who is an expert in that field. Abby is kind of an expert in university logistics and what's happening at the university. And then your faculty advisor is an expert in your content area. They're the ones that are going to be mentoring you through your career goals, really figuring out what you're wanting to do afterwards and what you can and what your options are for your degree. And then connecting you hopefully to opportunities through internships, high impact practices, study abroad programs, and then connecting you to people after, setting you up for after graduation as well. So they collaborate together in your first year. Abby's there to help create that foundation for you. And then once you reach 30 credit hours, that would make you a sophomore at that time. She'll connect you to your major advisor, and then you will connect and meet with your major advisor for the duration of your academic career. So I'm going to go ahead and bring Abby back up. Heads up, Abby. If I can find her on here. And I'm going to let her talk a little bit more about what she does as an academic advisor. What does an advising meeting look like, and when usually you would need to meet and reach out to Abby. So Abby, I'm going to let you take it from here.
Okay. As far as registration, because when you hear academic advisor, that is definitely the first thing that comes to mind. You guys will see lots of signs around campus. You'll be receiving emails as to when registration is going to start. And I really encourage you to come in and do it earlier rather than later, because I am the only freshman academic advisor in the College of Arts and Letters, but the faculty advisors, they are very helpful, but I want to make sure that I get to give each person as much individual attention as I can. You know, Casey talked about in our first session, me asking what do you want to do when you're done with your degree? That is a loaded question that I have to unpack in about a 30-minute advising session. So, you know, I definitely want to know, and it's okay if you tell me I don't know. I'm here to help guide you through that process. You know, I bring my counseling experience with me to the session where I'm listening and a good sounding board, but I'm really gonna kind of help you work through that. So I wanna make sure again that I'm connecting you with the right services and the right people on campus to help out. And that may look like, you know, during COVID, a combined Zoom session with me and your major advisor, or I've walked a couple students over to counseling services or financial aid when there wasn't COVID. So, or Edward and I, or Gabby and I hopping on a phone call together so we can connect and make sure you're getting all the right resources that you need. We just want to make sure you get all that information so you can make an informed decision for you. So I really encourage you to use your, you know, use your voice, advocate for yourself. I know that's tough coming out of when I was a freshman going into college. I was really shy and didn't want to say anything and kind of fly under the radar. But I'm really going to be there to be your cheerleader and help you do that.
Excellent, Abby, thank you. Can you talk a little bit about the registration process for fall? I know that we have, since we were able to have people sign up for the session, we were able to check and see who's been registered and who still needs to get registered for fall. So can you talk a little bit about how that process is working right now?
Yeah, so like Dean Jones and Ms. Ellis had talked about, everybody going virtual. Our orientation had gone virtual too. And so you should be going through your Govs Row orientation modules right now. And once you complete that, we get notification that you've completed it. And then one of us is going to reach out to you to complete registration for your classes. So it's really important to just work through those modules. My contact information is up here. If you have any problems doing that or have any other questions, you guys can always reach out to me, or we can hop into Zoom while we're working through this pandemic, but I'll help you through it. I think you're on mute, Casey.
Thank you. That always happens, right? It's not a Zoom meeting until someone is trying to talk while they're on mute. That's how I've realized things happen. Abby can actually go ahead and put her link in the chat down at the bottom. So Abby, you can put them in there probably now if you have it prepared to all attendees. And if that link is set up to make a meeting with her, if you need to meet and ask about any individualized questions, then that would be a really good way to do that. And she can either call you on the phone or do a Zoom meeting like this. We're all getting very good at this Zoom meeting, so hope y'all are too. I'm going to, while you're getting that in there you go. So if y'all just click on that link, it'll bring you straight to her schedule. And then you just put your name in and sign up for a meeting time if you need to. Okay, I'm gonna go ahead and bring up Edward, and we're gonna talk a little bit more about some other things that you might need to know before getting to campus. So bringing Edward up and moving. Excellent. All right, Edward, can you talk a little bit about the technology for fall, perhaps, since we might be doing this whole Zoom thing a whole lot, and the importance of having technology and access to that? Like, what is the university providing?
Yeah, so with like everything happening in the fall, like you said, it's important to be connected to technology as much as you can. And so like when everything moved back online in the middle of the spring semester, when all this first started, um, a lot of different departments on campus and a lot of important people, they've invested in technology that's there to support our students, such as like MiFi tablets or hotspots and things like that. Um, and so if you feel like you or like one of your friends might not have like reliable internet connection, for example, like I know back where I'm from, we have like HughesNet, it's like satellite internet. So it can be kind of hard to do Zoom stuff sometimes. Um, or if you like have like a family computer uh, and you that's like in the living room, and you can't like focus on your homework or something, then you can reach out to really anyone, any of the panelists today, and we can try to get you set up with whatever you feel like you'd need.
Excellent, thank you. Why don't you go ahead and talk a little bit more about the use of Outlook? I think that most of these students have gotten information from us. I definitely sent this email to everybody's APSU email. So if you can talk a little bit about how to make sure that they are staying connected to that, and there's some nice little tips and tricks there.
Yeah. So even when there's not a pandemic going on, email's generally the primary way that the university will communicate with you with really anything, whether it be like a hold on your account or even like classes being canceled for the day. So even when there's not a pandemic going on, I feel like I recommend my students to download Outlook like all the time. That way it's just like really convenient for you to get the information that you need. It'll just hook up to your one-stop information, and then you can get all your emails straight to your phone instantly, like a smartphone does. I feel like with all the like uncertainty going on in the world right now, just in general, it's even more important than it was before to have instant access to your emails, just because you could get an email at a moment's notice about changes that might directly affect your fall semester. And so it's really important that you so that it's really important to have that information visible for you without having to remind yourself to check your email once a week. That way, like once you get the notification, you've already really checked your email. You won't have to deal with as many last minute headaches.
Awesome. And what about textbooks? So most of the students on our call today have registered for classes. Now they're looking, we're going to talk a little bit about confirming in a minute with Gabby, but now they need to start kind of looking at what kind of books and materials that they might need for fall. How do they go about doing that?
Yeah, so this one's a bit easy. So if you want to go ahead and see what textbooks you have that you'll have for the fall, you can actually go to like your one stop, and then you click on web self-service, student, and then registration. And then like towards the bottom, you'll see an option called Student Printable Schedule with Textbook Express. You'll click that, and obviously you'll select Fall 2020 because you're going into Fall 2020. And then it'll show you your schedule, and then there'll be a button that says Purchase Books at Bookstore. And from there, you'll see all the stuff that your professors have assigned for the fall. There'll also be some like recommended materials, like sometimes the bookstore will automatically recommend like notebooks and stuff. Those are obviously, you don't have to get notebooks if you're going to use something else. But you'll see the textbooks that your professors have assigned. And so you can actually see like a rough estimate on how much your semester is going to cost in terms of textbooks. And the cool thing is that you don't have to buy all those textbooks new, like, brand spanking new if you don't want to. So you can either buy them new or used, as per usual. You can also rent them digitally or buy them digitally if those are available. And you can also rent new or used as well if you figure those would be a bit easier for you. And if you feel like you can't like afford your textbooks just yet, if you're still working over the summer to kind of get the money for those, then just checking over there is just like a good way to see what you have to work towards once you add all the prices up.
And this is where I end up usually getting on a soapbox about textbooks, is how important it is for you to actually have your materials on the first day of class. And one of the biggest predictors of a student succeeding and completing and doing well in their classes are if they have their textbooks and materials on day one. So there are a lot of options, especially during the pandemic. A lot of our companies that we're using for materials are offering free online materials. So if you can handle online textbooks and things like that, you might be able to find things for free that way. And I know a lot of our faculty are starting to offer free online resources for the materials instead of these really, really expensive textbooks. Some courses can't really get away from textbooks, so they have to have something that allows them to help them through the curriculum. So note that there are still courses that you will have to have some kind of textbook or workbook for, but note that there are a lot of courses and a lot of professors going to what we call open access resources that are free for students. So make sure you have understanding of how you are getting connected to those resources before day one. Thank you, Edward, appreciate that, and we'll bring you back up if we have more questions, but that was really, really helpful. I am going to bring up Gabby and Caitlin. I have your question. We're gonna get to that in just a minute, but I'm gonna go ahead and bring Gabby up to talk about a couple of things. So let's get her in here. Here she comes. So Gabby, hey Gabby, moving around a whole lot over here. So one thing that actually hasn't come up today yet, which I'm surprised, is confirming classes, which is the next thing after a student is registered. That's really the next thing that they need to be focused on. So can you talk a little bit about what that is and how that process works?
Yeah. So start out with what is confirmation. It's the process of making your first payment or choosing a payment plan in order to accept enrollment. You have to confirm. If you do not confirm by the deadline, which I believe is August 17th, your courses will be dropped, and then you'll have to basically start the registration process all over. So super duper important that you register, or not register, confirm. So the way you would do it, right, is in July-ish, closer to August, you'll get an email from the university saying, hey, the confirmation process is open, you're able to now. It'll be on your one-stop, but you can always look up how to confirm classes. APSU will give you like step-by-step directions on how to do it, but it's pretty simple. When you get there, it'll ask you to either make your first payment, select a payment plan, or if you have like scholarships that you've already accepted and full ride, then you'll just pretty much click, yeah, I'm attending OCP. It's important that you start now with like accepting your scholarships, getting your loans prepared. That way, when it is time for you to confirm, you've already got an idea of your financial situation and you can make a choice that better suits you.
Excellent. That's really important because every student has to confirm, and I will tell you, when I was a senior, I forgot to confirm and my classes got dropped. So it has to happen every semester, every term. Once your tuition bill comes through, which is around mid-July, that'll be the first time that it opens up for you to confirm, but all of your payments have to be in, or all of your scholarships and FAFSA loans, things like that, have to be applied to your account, or you have to set up a payment plan for whatever balance is due. So once you do that or pay it, then you can go in and confirm it after those three things, or all of those things have been applied. Can you talk a little bit about, I know Edward was talking about technology earlier, and something that came up in our last session a lot was the P-Mobile app that we have. So can you talk a little bit about that and what it is and why they should go ahead and download it?
Yep. So P Mobile is, as it sounds, a mobile app. You can get it in your app store. It's completely free. It's made by Austin P, and it's a blend of student-centered social media and personal academic tracker. So as far as like the social media goes, it allows you to interact with other students. It can either be like the broad student body that has the app or classmates that are listed in your course sections. And you can talk about pretty much anything. A lot of students will ask for like recommendations for certain classes or just share memes, honestly, just something to brighten up everyone's day a little bit. And then as far as the academic tracker goes, it allows you to see your daily schedule, you can see your grades, and you can see your upcoming deadlines on the app. So pretty much anything you would be looking up on your One Stop and your D2L, it's all centered in one app. Super helpful. You can also see campus events and important announcements via that app. Might be able to see it faster than you could on, say, your email or just waiting for a professor to tell you. So I highly recommend getting the app. And
Yeah,
Abby,
it's really useful. Students use it a lot. They sell things, they buy things, they give each other advice. They actually do that with textbooks, selling and buying textbooks on there too, I think. So you can get in different chats or different communities within that. So that's important that you go ahead and start looking through that. It also gets you to D2L and One Stop from that app. So that's really convenient, as well as P-Link. P-Link, that's it. Gets you straight to P-Link, which is all of the student organization information. Live Safe is the next app that students, and I actually just downloaded this like last week because I didn't realize it was so important, and I've just been walking around without it. So it's really important too. So Gabby's going to talk to y'all a little bit about that too.
Yep. So Live Safe is another app for your phone, also free, and it's a personal safety app. So it has a lot of helpful features, so I'll only go over a few, but do know that there's more that you can do with it. The first thing is that the app allows you to communicate with campus police. You can send reports, you can send images, you can send audio recordings, pretty much anything, and you can send it either with your name on it or you can send it anonymously. So I personally used it a couple years ago, and I ended up using the anonymous feature. And even though I was anonymous, they still showed up within like 3 minutes or less. So, it's just as good as having to call campus police oftentimes. The other thing is that the app utilizes location tracking. So say you have to call 911, it makes that call a lot faster, and it makes it easier for EMS to find you because Austin P already has your location. If that does make you uncomfortable, though, you're able to turn off location tracking. That's totally fine. The next important feature of the app is called Safe Walk. Safe Walk allows people of your choosing to virtually watch you communicate or commute on campus. So for example, let's say that you are at the library super late because you're studying like the really dedicated student that you are, but you're a little hesitant to walk alone back to your car or your dorm. You can always hit up a friend or anybody who you kind of have a personal connection to on that app to virtually watch you. They can chat with you there, or they can literally just see like your little icon moving across campus. Other little tidbit about that, you can use that feature on other campuses that also utilize LiveSafe, like UT, for example. The app also provides personal health and safety resources should you need assistance finding who to talk to or what to access. So.
Yeah, two very important apps, I think, that for anyone, especially when we're dealing with a potential like virtual life in the fall. I think having both of those apps will keep you connected and connected to campus as well as other people on campus safely. Okay, so thank you, Gabby. I'm going to bring back Barry, and we're going to talk about these questions that we just got in. Moving people around a little bit. Excellent. Oh, I just kicked him back out. Oops, that was the wrong one. Sorry, Barry. Hang on. These controls can be hard sometimes. Sorry about that.
Hey, and my camera changed again.
I see that. It's the right camera now. Excellent. So I have a couple questions, and I think that you might be the best to answer these. So one of them is wondering, they're a theater major, and they're wondering about the theater program and how are the professors?
Oh, how are the professors? They're awesome. The there's a great group of professors actually in the Department of Theater and Dance, starting with the chair of the department, Professor Marcus Hayes, who is a fantastic choreographer and dancer. They're all very experienced professionally. They have a lot of connections. One of the newest professors, Talon Beeson, actually has a lot of Hollywood credits to his name, and is particularly well known for his voiceover works. He makes a significant amount of money on a side hustle, which is doing voiceovers for commercials and things like that. He was for a long time the announcer on Divorce Court on TV. So they're a very professional group with lots of film experience and lots of stage experience. And all I can say is I generally like them, and they're always the life of the party because they're actors. That's what they do.
That's fun information. I did not know that about Professor Beeson.
Yeah,
So,
pretty interesting.
also on that note, they do a really good job of working with their students to get them contract work over the summers and after college too. So they've got a couple of students going on to do some really awesome things after graduation, and they're always out there doing things.
Yeah, we have they have working agreements with Nashville Children's Theater and with the Nashville Shakespeare Festival. So a lot of our students end up working with those two organizations during the summer.
I believe they have a Facebook and probably Instagram as well. I would, if you're not already out there, definitely follow them, and you can see what their students are doing now, current students, and then current or recent graduates and where they're at now too. So they've put out some really cool work and have gotten some really cool jobs afterwards. So they definitely help to make their students employable, and connecting them to those resources to do so. I know a lot of students have, especially in like musical theater, have done a lot of jobs over the summer at places like Dollywood or I don't know, and then of course the Children's Theater and TPAC auditions, things like that. So they keep their students very busy in getting jobs and work in that field. Yeah, really good area. So we have another question here about clarification on the applied music lesson fee. Do you have any information on
that? What is there a specific question about it?
Provide clarification on applied music lesson.
Well, there is a fee for applied lessons, and that fee goes to what it pays for is an accompanist. So the Department of Music has a full-time piano accompanist and several part-time piano accompanists that often students need as part of their recitals and things like that. And so that's what the applied music fee is for. So it provides those resources to students who need those as they progress through the program. And so it's just necessary. It's one of those necessary fees to make the department function properly and to make sure that you get the resources. And so it's oftentimes, program or course fees seem, you want to know where your money's going, and that really is where it goes, because you're going to, as a music instrumentalist, you're going to be performing, and quite often you need a piano player. And a lot of other schools will require that the students pay the piano accompanist themselves. And so rather than do that, we've set up a course fee where we pay the accompanist through the fee. So you're not negotiating with piano players and things like that yourself. I hope that answered the question. Yeah, I hope that answered the question a little bit.
Well, and it brings me to think about other program fees and other majors or other departments, and I think about that aviation fees, pretty hefty.
Yeah, pretty steep. Well, and I know Art and Design recently established a course fee as well, but the point of that course fee was to buy the materials and supplies that students needed in art courses and provide them to them, because art supplies can be really pricey. And as a department, art and design is able to have much better buying power in bulk. And so we're able to save students a great deal of money by charging a fee, but then using that money to buy the supplies they need for the course.
I often teach an APSU 1000 class that is for arts and letters majors, and I always have a ton of art students in there, and I see them packing around their big drawing pads and a box full of their I don't know, tools that I'm not an artist, so all the things that they need to create. They're always carrying their stuff around, so there are a lot of supplies that go into those programs, and the tuition unfortunately doesn't really go to that, so we have to have those fees to make those things work, and not make you pay more for them if you were to go buy them, say at Hobby Lobby or an arts and crafts store themselves. But like you said, buying them in bulk straight from like the provider allows y'all to really actually save money on what that looks like as well. And I do believe the art department too, on that note, has like a rental place, and I think it's free rentals, but where they can check out equipment.
Yeah, there's an equipment cage where they have cameras, video cameras, other tools that, specialized tools, Wacom tablets for animation that students can go to. It's looks kind of like a concession stand at a football game or something, and you can just check out what you need for the period of time. And so art and design has done a pretty good job of really providing as much as they can for the students. So if you take a digital photography course, they provide the camera, things like that.
Those can get really expensive.
Very expensive. It's also easier to teach if everybody's using the same camera.
True. That is absolutely correct. Well, I just want to remind everyone, you can continue putting in questions. These are really great questions. What are some concerns that you're having for fall or preparing for fall? And that can be anywhere from, the whole gamut. What are y'all concerned about, and what questions do you have? But until then, I'm going to go ahead and bring everybody back up on our screen, and all of our panelists for today, and just ask a couple more questions. Let's see. And Barry, why don't you talk a little bit about the liberal arts education? We haven't really gotten a question about that, but we usually do. And why are artists taking English and science and math?
Sure. We get that question quite often, and I'm a passionate supporter of the idea of a liberal arts education. So we often hear students like, I want to be a painter, why do I have to take sociology? Why do I have to take history? Well, for one thing, one of the things we believe strongly at Austin Peay is that we're helping people become well-educated, productive citizens of the world. And that requires a base knowledge of important things. But also for artists, musicians, actors, writers, you have to have something to make your art about. And if you're isolated into just the technical, then what you make and what you work on has no soul. And so you can kind of think about the general education core as that's how you get your soul. That's how you get your groove. So it's important, as any of our majors, if you want to be a historian, it's important that you take science courses. It's important that you take courses in political science, courses in mathematics. These are all important things. And so we're very proud that we give our students a great general wide scope education, but also allow them to major and focus in a particular area of interest and of passion. So you'll still take a lot of courses in your love, but you'll find things that you didn't know you loved until you took the course. I'll use myself as a quick example. I'm also an alum of Austin Peay. I graduated in 1995 and began as a history major, and took a art course because I thought it might be interesting. Well, within 2 weeks, my life had changed, and I found what I knew was right for me. And so sometimes you don't know these things until you take the course. And that's what, in the end, what we really want is for our students to find their passion, what they love, what they want to do, and then we want to help them succeed at that.
I think a lot of us probably have very similar stories there too, of that one class that you took that really spoke to you in a way that you didn't think was possible, and then you change your major. So I definitely did. I started out as a business major, and within my first semester, I definitely flipped that to a French major. And I was like, I would rather sit in French classes all day long than sit in an accounting class any longer than I had to. So yeah, that is definitely, that happens a lot in college. So expect those like moments of clarity and when you realize you do have a passion for this other thing. I encourage you to go for those passions. It's really important that you're doing something that you love instead of doing something for money. It's going to get you through those long nights when you're putting all the effort into it. So I definitely encourage y'all to seek out what makes you happy and what you're passionate about. So a couple of things that I'm going to bring up before the end. We don't have any more questions. Y'all are a quiet bunch today. We are going to do a couple more of these sessions pretty regularly that the coaches, Gabby and Edward, are going to start sending some information out weekly about many topics. We're calling those, Edward came up with this title called Gov's Side Chats. And these are going to be more informal than they are formal, like today's session was, where they're just going to talk a little bit about that one topic and then answer any kind of questions that you might have pertaining to that topic. So a topic might be, Edward, give me an idea of a topic. We had a lot of them this morning and they've left me.
Like D2L or something.
D2L, because D2L is going to be really important for your fall semester this year, whether you're on ground, online, high flex, hybrid, all the different options that may be coming your way this fall. But definitely D2L is probably going to be the one consistent thing that you have all semester, which is our learning management program, or learning management system that provides the curriculum and everything. You might be taking quizzes in there. It's a whole thing. So they might go through what that looks like and where to find certain things so that y'all are prepared. I know we've heard some talks about opening the D2L shells for your classes before the first day of classes. So getting in there early and being familiar with it before day one of class is important. So we'll probably do some sessions on that. Where we invite y'all in, and y'all will all be able to see each other on that screen and not just us. And it'll be a lot more informal and where you can talk together and learn together than this. So those will be weekly mini sessions. So I would encourage y'all to watch your emails. We'll be sending that information out via email. And if y'all have topics that y'all would like to see and learn more about, then please let us know. Whenever you leave this session today, a poll or a survey, a quick survey is going to pop up for you. And I encourage you to go ahead and take that survey. It's just going to ask you if you felt like the information today was beneficial. And that's just for us to know so that we can, when we provide this for other students later on, we can edit the topics if we need to, but also it's going to say, was there anything else that you would like to learn more about? And if you could put topics in that box that you would like to see maybe happen on these Gov's Side Chats throughout the summer, preparing you for fall, please put that out there so that we can find a way to support y'all as y'all are going through this in a non-traditional way. Usually we have a lot of time with y'all on campus for a full day. Where you're learning all the information. It's information overload. And now we're just trying to get you the little information that we have and walk you through these processes as we get more information closer to the start of school. More questions are going to come up. More information is going to come out from our administrators. And we just want to make sure that we are offering all that space to communicate face-to-face, or if you want to call in and just listen in, that's okay too. You can do that. You don't have to be on the screen, but I encourage you to do so that you can meet other people in the College of Arts and Letters and start getting to know each other as well. connecting to other students in our college, I think, is one of the most important things. So there'll be a lot of opportunities to do that. However, there's going to be more so those opportunities are going to be more virtual this fall than in person. So I encourage you to take advantage of those virtual opportunities. Once again, that survey that's going to come up when you leave, go ahead and fill that out for us and really tell us what topics you might want to talk about coming up to the start of school. Other than that, that concludes what we have on our agenda, I believe. I'm going to open it up to the panelists just one more time to ask them what advice do y'all have to the new students on, having a successful start to the semester and maybe their first full semester at Austin Peay. Anyone jump in whenever.
All right, I'll jump in. I've always got something to say. The most important thing, a piece of advice or thing to remember as you start your first semester at Austin Peay is that everyone here is here to help. Our job is to make you successful, to help you through the processes, and to answer your questions. So do not be afraid to ask questions or ask for help. And it's not just the people you see on this screen. They're your professors, there's the staff across campus. We know that a university of our size is a large bureaucratic machine. And sometimes learning how to navigate the processes can be hard. So ask for help. And I guarantee you, most of us won't know the answers either, but we'll know who to call to get the answers. And we want to help you. If you're struggling, we have tutors, we have counseling services. We care about you not just as a number in a classroom, but as a person. We want you to be happy, healthy, and gain a great education. So ask for help. We're here for you.
I just wanted to echo that because, I think in this day and age, you can get down on yourself with social media if you come across a mistake or, I was on my way to go to medical school and organic chemistry was not having me after 3 times. So don't get down on yourself. It's just taking you to a different path. So please reach out to us and let us know how we can help, and welcome to APSU, guys.
So my advice would be, don't be afraid to form like a good relationship with your faculty. We're not just kind of here to hound you guys on what to do. We are humans and we really, really care about you guys. Like, we want to see you succeed. We want to see all the amazing things we already know you're going to do, so don't be afraid to reach out and say hi or ask for help whenever you need it.
I think I would say, although it's like really cheesy and cliche to say, but you're definitely not alone. I feel like with everything being digital right now and everyone just, sitting at their kitchen table with like, a fancy shirt and like pajama pants on, it's super easy to feel atomized and just anonymous amongst everything. But you're definitely not alone, your students, or not your students, but like your fellow classmates are like struggling in solidarity with you as well through the lows, and then they're with you with the highs. And even like Gabby said, even the people that work here, they're here to celebrate your highs and also work with you through your lows.
I like that. That's a good one. Great to leave them with that information. I just want to echo, Abby has put her link in the chat. So if you want to click on that link, if you want to see about getting a session, a meeting set up with her via Zoom or a phone call, you can do that there. And I just want to welcome y'all to Austin Peay as well. Let's go Peay. It's a great place to be. All the people here are here to help, like echoing everyone else. And I'm really glad that y'all took some time out today to attend this session. We will video it, or we are recording it, so we will send it out as well and post it out there. And yeah, just let us know what other topics y'all want to talk about, and we'll start planning those small side chats to start creating those connections between all of y'all new students and as well as with our student success team. So excellent, y'all. Thanks so much. Bye.